And voila, our carnivore pizza is ready. It is 100% my favorite of all three of them that I have ever made. Welcome back to Chicken Nightmares in my kitchen with Meat Carnivore. I'm Meat Carnivore, this is my kitchen, this is my chicken. Today we are going to make some carnivore pizza. This is actually not the first time I'm making carnivore pizza, this is actually the third time I'm making carnivore pizza. I have made carnivore pizza with ground beef as the base, as the crust. I have made carnivore pizza with shredded chicken as the crust, and today we are trying something a little bit different. So let's go. The list of things that we need is very simple. For the crust, we are going to use 300 grams of ground chicken, around 80 grams of shredded cheese. I don't know what type of cheese this is. It was just sitting in my fridge, so I have absolutely no idea. But it's not mozzarella. I also have mozzarella. And one egg. So that's all we need for the crust. And then for the toppings, I mean, you can choose whatever you want. I'm going to go with pepperoni and I don't know what this is. I think it's like smoked. I would still call this bacon, but maybe it's not bacon, but it's something. It's meat. That's the most important thing. And of course, I'm also going to top it off with more cheese. I have, for whatever reason, I do have a lot of cheese in the house right now. So I'm just going to mix different types of cheeses, or maybe I'll just go with mozzarella. Might also use 2 more eggs because I want to try something new, but I don't know how I'm going to feel after I'm done with the crust. So we'll see. Step number 1. We take our chicken, we take our egg, and we crack in the egg. And of course, I also wanted to say that, yes, as always, if you're not new to this channel, I make everything in the air fryer. However, you can absolutely do this also in the oven. Of course, you might need to adjust the temperature and the cooking time a little bit, but I will tell you all about that when we get closer. So, egg is in, cheese goes also in, and we give it all a nice mix. I might add more cheese because this is still kind of a little bit too wet from the egg. So I'll just do that. And you also, you check for yourself, right? You kind of want, either you go with more chicken, if you have, I don't, because I just bought 300 grams, or you add more cheese. Okay, so more cheese went in, and now I'm using a spoon to just mix it around. I think it's also a little bit easier maybe, or at least a little bit cleaner. Just make sure to give it all a good mix. And now, in my case, I'm taking my trusty Typhodome 2 air fryer. Time for a shameless plug. If you want to get yourself one, use code MEAT for a nice discount. If you're using oven, as I said before, it's all good, just a little bit different times. So here I have the chicken, and we are just going to spread it out step by step, basically. Not too thin, not too thick. I mean, technically it can be like up to your own liking, but if it's too thick, then you just need to cook longer and it's gonna be not so nice. Kind of wanted it to be more of a circle, but this is me, you know. Can I make it more of a circle? Not really. So for those of you who are using an oven, you might want to cook the base at like 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius for around 20 minutes. To my air fryer friends, I'm going to try 180 degrees Celsius, that's around 360 Fahrenheit, for like 15-ish minutes. But what I'm going to do is I will put it in for 10 minutes and then I'll check in a bit. But on the screen, like, you will see the total time or the range. I always suggest checking on the food anyways. It all depends on like how thick you made the base, etc. So 180, and let's do, yeah, I'll do 12 minutes and then I'll check. So see you then. Okay, so 12 minutes have passed. It is looking very good. There are like juices, right? Of course, if you have a paper towel, then you can like dry them like that. I'm just draining them a little bit, letting them go to the bottom of the air fryer, just like this. Yeah, just letting them run to the edges. And I'll do like 3-4 more minutes. Yeah, we'll do 4. Alright, so in the meantime, I took 1 more egg and just separated the yolk from the white. And I'm going to a little bit break it apart, just like this. And we will basically use this as, as the sauce, kind of. That's basically what I wanted to try. So now we have our base, and I'm just taking this to spread the yolk, and I'll just like let it go. Yeah, I can easily use like 2 or more, depends on how much you want, because now we are going to add the toppings and cook it for a few more minutes. I think I'm going to keep it easy and just go with mozzarella. We'll see how it looks. You know, it's all based on how you feel, you know, make it yours. I mean, this part for sure, like you don't need to follow it as a recipe of any kind. Then I'm gonna take the pepperoni and just lay it all out. I mean, I want my pizza to be like meat lovers, you know, like with a lot of meat. And this bacon I'll just rip apart and spread around, just like this. And the rest I just ate. Let's top it off with more cheese. And back in the air fryer it goes. This time I'll do 200 degrees Celsius or 400 Fahrenheit for, 3 minutes. And voila, our carnivore pizza is ready. Now, the only thing left to do for me is to try to remove it from the parchment paper without breaking it apart, because of course I want to take some more shots, let it cool down a bit, and then we are going to taste test. Look at this greasy beast. Actually, removing it was rather simple, you know. I just took out with the whole parchment paper and then just slid it off. So it was pretty easy. Easy, fast carnivore pizza. I'm so excited to give this one a try. I am going to use a fork only because I was holding like a piece to see if I can like make a thumbnail shot, and if it was so hot that I feel like my fingers are burning. So I'm just going to use my fork to try a piece. Wow, it is truly amazing. I know I say this almost about anything I try, but I mean, I like to eat meat. You know, so like, what do you expect me to say? You know, it's horrible. It is 100% my favorite of all 3 of them that I have ever made. I'm going to make it again. There are a couple of things that like I would do different maybe next time. So like, of course, the edges here and then the top part is crusty, but the bottom not. So there's 2 things I would do, right? Either make it thinner and flip it around. Yeah, actually that's one thing, you know, I would just like make it a little bit thinner and flip it around. I mean, this would also be perfect if I flip it around, because like right now, like the bottom part is more like ground chicken, right? I mean, anyways, it is ground chicken, so like what do you expect? But it is very, very delicious. And yeah, these edges are crunchy and very, very delicious. But yeah, again, it all depends on you, right? Like, I will experiment for sure with different toppings and just making it a little bit more thin, you know? And I'm very glad, because I wanted to go for like half a kilo, which is a pound of ground chicken. That would be too much. I mean, besides that, this is really something I would make again. Of course, again, occasionally, you know, a lot of these things, like I don't eat this daily, you know? I eat just ground beef, eggs and butter, and I love it completely. But to show you guys that it's impossible, so yeah, give it a try. Let me know what you think, or maybe something that you are doing differently. As always, would like to thank all the channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, you can do it by clicking the join button down below. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. So good.